Ahead of Governor Fubara's resumption, residents, stakeholders thronged Government House for welcome. Federal government approves establishment appeal court in Ogun, expands access to justice and relieve litigants. Plus, Kogi state government condemns violent protests at Costech, reaffirms merit-based employment. Many thanks for joining us on the News Desk 3 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Vivian Izadifi. Ahead of the arrival of the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara following the end of emergency rule in the states, residents, including politicians and major stakeholders, are already trunking the Government House in Port Harcourt to accord the governor a befitting welcome. Although the governor is yet to arrive at the Government House, various groups, clad in their uniforms, are seen standing outside the gates of the Government House in anticipation of his arrival, as residents of the state expressed satisfaction over the restoration of democratic rule in the state, saying they are hopeful that the state will now witness more development. With the lifting of the emergency, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Deputy Governor Ngozi Odu, and members of the State House of Assembly, led by Speaker Martins Emehule, are resuming full duties today. Joining us now live from Port Harcourt is Kingsley Amajiri to bring us up to speed with the situation there. I beg your pardon, Robinson Daratede is standing by in Port Harcourt to bring us up to speed with the situation there. Hello, Robinson.
Hello.
Yes, tell us what is the atmosphere like now that Fubara has been reinstated?
The atmosphere in Port Harcourt still remains calm and beautiful. As you are all aware, in the morning period, a lot of people drove down to the Government House where they came in anticipation to receive the governor. Unfortunately, the governor is yet to arrive, and what we heard is that the governor may likely not be in the country for now, but before the end of tomorrow or next week, he will arrive with his deputy, and civil governance will continue in MS in River State. The jubilation was marked also at the State House of Assembly, the Assembly quarter. A lot of people also went there to celebrate with the State House of Assembly members for them being reinstated into the state. So it has been a beautiful period, and people believe that this is the right thing to be done, and peace has finally returned to the state, and the development that the people anticipate for will be achieved now.
Robinson, are there legal or constitutional grounds cited for his reinstatement? And how is the key political figures reacting to this?
Well, from the views of the two political figures, peace has already returned even before now. You are aware that the president, in his wisdom, had brokered peace between the State Assembly members, the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and the State Governor, Fubara. So even before now, they've started, doing things together. We've cited them on several occasions in public events. So peace has returned. But what is most important now is how they will sustain the peace that has been brokered. Although there are still people who believe that if proper care is not taken, the peace may not be sustained, because they believe that the governor may still be restrained to take certain decisions. But that may not also be true, because from the government's body language, and the FCT minister's body language, it shows that they are already in good terms. And Rivers people are already anticipating for good governance, especially on the projects that have been suspended all this while. So nobody is talking about crisis. All everyone is talking about is that peace has returned to Rivers State, and all the factions must do everything possible to sustain the peace.
Thank you very much, Robinson Daratede, for the updates.
Thank you.
From Port Harcourt, we now move to Kogi State, where government has condemned Wednesday violent protests staged at the Confluence University of Science and Technology, or SARA, by some persons under the banner of the Association of People Living with Disabilities. The protesters, who locked the university's main gates and disrupted academic activities, claimed they were being marginalized in employment opportunities at the institution. However, in a statement issued in Lokoja on Thursday, the State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Femi Fanwo, described the claims as baseless, saying the institution has employed several qualified persons living with disabilities, strictly merit-driven in both academic and non-academic roles. He listed examples to include Rufiat Ozuho Ohize, who has been serving as technologist the second in the chemistry department since 20th May 2024, Ahmed Rufai Umuya, who assumed duty on 11th January 2024 as an assistant executive officer in the registry department, and Mustafa Obaje, who joined the institution on 25th March 2025 as an assistant lecturer in the technology education department, among others. Fanwo reaffirmed Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo's commitments to fairness, inclusivity, and service to all citizens, regardless of physical status. He urged the police and other security agencies to investigate the incident and take proactive measures to prevent a recurrence. Joining me in the studio now this afternoon is Kogi State Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Femi Fanwo. Glad to have you in our studios this afternoon.
Thank you very much. It is good to be here.
Can you tell us what has been the position of the state government over this recent protest and steps taken so far?
Thank you very much. To lay the background, I would say that Kogi State is one of the most friendly when it comes to relating with people living with disabilities. We are one of the first states to sign into law the establishment of the Disability Commission in order to empower them. So in whatever we are doing, we always ensure that people living with disabilities are given very, very special considerations as an administration and as a state. So the fact that they went to disrupt activities in the violent protest, shutting the gate and ensuring that academic activities could not take place at the Confluence University of Science and Technologies is quite worrisome and quite disturbing. And going by the way the whole thing went, what they were trying to allege were things that were very far from the truth. By saying that the university is not employing people living with disabilities. That is not true. Quite a good number of them are in the employ of the university. You know, the university environment is such that it is merit-driven. It is such that it has to do with your qualifications, your credentials, and your competence. It is not something that you just zone quota to different demographics and all of that. So for them to resort to violence is worrisome. We also noticed that they went there with very sophisticated and expensive recording materials that are quite expensive. You don't expect that they would ordinarily have access to such things. And for what purpose? Why do you want to record? To be sent to who? And you know, when these things happen, you now start working in the realm of a lot of probabilities as to whether they were sponsored to cause disaffection and create chaos there, so that Kogi will be in the news for the wrong reasons. But we want to commend the university authorities and all the students for their orderly handling of that provocation in such a way that it did not snowball into a major crisis.
Thank you very much, sir, for taking our time to talk to us on this issue. That was the Commissioner for Information and Communication in Kogi State, who joined us via Zoom. Moving on to other matters now, the Kingdom of the Netherlands says it will strengthen its bilateral relationship with Nigeria and supports the country in food security projects and initiatives. The Dutch ambassador to Nigeria, Bert Ludrecht, says his country is currently supporting Nigerians' vegetable production along the value chain. Musa Babali reports.
In 2021, Nigeria and the Netherlands reached an agreement with the Dutch government supporting Nigeria to address post-harvest losses in vegetable farming. The 5-year project focuses on increasing farmers' incomes, promoting sustainable farming, enhancing greenhouse technologies, and fostering stronger market linkages for 60,000 smallholder farmers. So far, approximately 70,000 farmers in Kano, Kaduna, Ogun, and Oyo states have benefited. The national coordinator of the project stated that the initiative has achieved its objectives in increasing Nigerian vegetable production. The Dutch ambassador to Nigeria noted that the support did not only mobilize private capital, but also involves technology transfer and technical expertise in areas such as climate control and seed technology, as well as policy advocacy to support more resilient and inclusive horticulture value chain.
We have established over 100 business-to-business partnerships across all the 4 states, which we believe that is going to continue even after outside Nigeria.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security commended the Dutch government for its support and appealed for a second phase of the project to cover additional states. Beneficiaries of the project, especially the youth, are in high spirits, believing that their contributions will enhance national food production. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Cuban ambassador to Nigeria, Miriam Morales Palmero, and president of the Cuban Institute of Friendship with the Peoples, Fernando González Yurts, are appealing for the international solidarity from Africa and beyond to pursue diplomatic avenues to resolve Cuba's long-standing economic and humanitarian burdens, compounded by the mounting challenges faced by Cuba as a result of the U.S. blockade. Suleiman Abdulwahab reports that this was at a media briefing in Abuja.
Africa and Cuba could support each other and could find areas in which mutual benefit could be found in relationships between companies of both Africa and Cuba.
The press briefing centered on the enduring impact of U.S. blockage on Cuba and the urgent needs for international solidarity to address these resulting economic and humanitarian challenges.
I respect full Nigeria, and Cuba respect full all the policies in the different countries.
We understand as Cubans that it is for the benefit of Cuba and for the benefit of the United States to have a decent relationship between the 2 countries and the 2 peoples.
President of the Cuban Institute of Friendship with the People, ICAP, Fernando González, used this occasion to share perspectives on resilience, diplomacy, and cooperation in the face of diversity. González reaffirmed Cubans' belief in a brighter future, insisting that despite current hardship, there will be light at the end of the tunnel.
The resilience of the Cuban people, the capacity to resist and to be creative in finding ways to overcome these difficulties, that is something that is, in my opinion, commendable. That is something that, in my opinion, as a Cuban, should be recognized in the whole world.
Both leaders call on African nations and the international community to strengthen diplomatic efforts and build solidarity to support Cuba's rights to self-determination and development. In Abuja, Suleiman Tabu Abdul Wahab, NTA News.
There will be more reports after this time out. Stay with us.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
Welcome back. The Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency has issued a flood warning to communities along the River Niger and River Benue, urging them to take precautionary measures to protect lives and property. In a statement signed by NIHSA Director General Umar Ibrahim Mohammed, the agency provided an update on river flow conditions and dam water levels across the country. According to the statement, both the Niger and Benue rivers have reached peak levels, significantly increasing the risks of flooding in nearby areas. The tributaries of these major rivers, Rima, Kaduna, and Gongola, have also reached peak flow levels. In addition, several major dams across Nigeria are experiencing rising reservoir levels due to the height of the rainy season. NIHSA noted that it is actively collaborating with dam authorities nationwide to reduce the potential impact of flooding on downstream communities, particularly those considered vulnerable. The federal government has approved the establishment of a court of appeal in Ogun State to expand access to justice and relieve litigants and lawyers the inconveniences of traveling to Ibadan, Oyo State. Yemi Dalemo reports that Governor Dapo Abiodun announced this at the commencement of the 2025-2026 legal year in the state.
Years, litigants and lawyers in Ogun State had to travel to Ibadan, Oyo State capital, to pursue matters that have to go to the appeal courts, a development that brings lots of constraints, inconveniences, wasting time, and additional cost of traveling from different parts of the state to attend to such matters before Ibadan Divisional Court of Appeal. Governor Dapo Abiodun, while speaking at the commencement of the 2025-2026 legal year, informs that the federal government has graciously approved the long-standing request of the state government to have a court of appeal established in the state. He urged both members of the bar and bench to continue to embrace integrity, adding that justice cannot thrive without integrity, impartiality, and of course, courage.
This is indeed a landmark achievement of an initiative proudly and aggressively championed the administration to bring justice closer to our people and to ease the heavy caseload currently borne by the Ibadan division.
It's of great benefit to us that we have a division of Court of Appeal in Ogun State.
It will lead to promotion of so many lawyers who are aspiring to be a senior advocate of Nigeria.
It's a great achievement from the state.
Judges in the state resumed this September to begin the new legal year. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo.
Civil Rights Advocacy Group has expressed confidence in the ability of the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Professor Natawe Yelwada, to resolve disputes within the party and promote justice in the nation. The group made this comments when it visited the national chairman of the ruling party at party secretariat seeking resolution in a dispute between the party's governorship candidates in the forthcoming Anambra State gubernatorial election. Nicholas Ukachukwu and Achama Abba, the managing director of Zoe New Dawn, over a land dispute. The group feels the dispute may threaten the peace and chances of Ukachukwu in the polls.
Elected is have the capacity to make sure that the right thing is done to the people and the innocent Nigerians.
The civil rights advocacy group says both parties had a memorandum of understanding on the matter and honoring it could resolve the crisis. To fast-track compressed natural gas infrastructure development in line with President Bola Tinubu's initiative on CNG, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority convened a stakeholders engagement to sensitize industry players on auto compressed natural gas, auto CNG license requirements and procedures. Lydia Sampson reports.
Across the country, Nigerians are embracing CNG as an alternative fuel, evident in the growing number of motorists converting their vehicles and the long queues at CNG stations. Demand has now outspaced supply. This stakeholder engagement was designed to demystify licensing processes, ensure seamless implementation, and strengthen regulatory compliance to attract more investment across the CNG value chain.
Is to bridge the gap between the authority, that's the regulator, and the applicant as it concerns the operations of CNG in Nigeria. And we organized this because we also keyed into Mr. President's initiative on CNG.
Key industry players at the event commended President Bola Tinubu's decisive push to accelerate CNG adoption nationwide.
I must thank the NMDPR for organizing this seminar because for those of us who have been intending to go into the business of CNG, we never realized that there's a lot to know about the business itself. And quite a number of us, some consultants will come, they will tell you very nice things so that you can pay them commissions. But now, coming here, we have realized that there's a lot to do and we can be able to do a lot of these things ourselves. And then I must thank the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for introducing this issue of CNG.
This has created a very good atmosphere of collaboration, of cooperation, of knowledge sharing, and a feedback loop that is very important for the regulators, for PCNGI, for all stakeholders indeed to understand what are the common concerns, the lowest common multiples, the highest common denominators.
Speakers highlighted CNG's benefits from reducing fuel costs to cutting environmental pollution. Participants expressed readiness to work more closely with regulators to drive CNG uptake, aligning with Nigeria's energy diversification and cleaner fuel ambitions. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has charged secretaries to state governments to embrace technological tools, deepen collaboration, and proactively support security coordination to meet the demands of modern governance. This was during the 2025 second quarter meeting of the Forum of Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Secretaries to Governments of States in Jos. Ijoma Ozemena reports.
The SGF emphasized the strategic importance of the secretaries' roles in governance, describing them as the engine room of all government operations. He noted that their functions span policy coordination, cabinet affairs, interministerial relations, and maintaining institutional memory, stressing the need for continuous adaptation to the evolving political and administrative landscape. The meeting is the second of its kind since the inception of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration and the first for this year, with the theme understanding the dynamics in the roles and functions of secretaries to the government of states.
We need to remind us that our job requires absolute discretion, diligence, loyalty, and a deep understanding of the political and administrative landscape, as well as understanding the skills of managing cracks in the areas of conflict in the landscape. This forum meets from time to time in order to rub minds together, to be able to share notes together and see how they can improve the machinery of government.
In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And that concludes the News Desk 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Ezadifi. Bye for now.